All right, what up, YouTube? This is No Cap, No Filter. I'm your host, Marley G, back at you another episode of Running With You. And tonight, we got to run about this clip I came across. Haven't seen it. We're going to react to it together, but it's with the guy, Cooley. Uh, he be doing podcasts with Dayton in the Red Pill Manosphere or whatnot. And he has women on this podcast, and he's talking about he will go as far as to date a 18-year-old. Mind you, this dude is somewhere in his 30s, I believe. And they had a little debate about this. A lot of women can't fathom men liking young women, but to me, I think, you know, it gets to a point where a certain age is kind of weird, you know. But we're gonna have to go ahead on and break it down, man. Without further ado, let's get into the video. You got Scottie Pippen. He out here dating a woman younger than his kid's age. You got Lil Wayne just called off a wedding. I guess he got bullied. He ain't stand on in this like Kevin Gates did. I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on. Let's see what they talking about.
What's the youngest you guys think you should date age? Like what's at your age now? What's the youngest you would ever date?
35?
Generally speaking, I think 18. Why not?
Yeah.
You're joking.
You said the youngest legal. She's legally.
You're joking.
She's legally of age.
Was
How
that for
old are you?
everybody?
18.
How old are you?
I said generally speaking.
No.
Any age.
He's 40. So
I ain't 40.
He would date
He's
an
not
18
40.
I ain't 40. But at the end of the day, an 18-year-old is legal.
Dating an 18.
How is what's wrong with that?
Did we not see how the Shannon Sharp situation played out?
I mean, me
Well,
particularly.
he was messing with a slur
She was 19.
that had ulterior motives.
Because it's legal doesn't
Meek
mean
is
it's
right.
right.
You need to just like digest that.
Okay, so then what's wrong with it? If you shouldn't date if a man is 30 years old, why shouldn't he date a woman that's 18? Explain. Who want to go
I'm
first?
coming from experience. When I was 18, I mean, I was a pharmacy tech. I started talking to the pharmacist who was 30 years old. And looking back, that was super inappropriate. Like, I think that was an overstep on both of our accounts, but more so on his part because I was fresh out of high school. Like, this was a job that I was,
So essentially, you're saying that he took advantage because you were younger?
I'm not saying he took advantage, but I'm saying the maturity level that I was at and the maturity level that he was at are so vast that there's nothing that we should have.
So you think that the maturity level has to be equal between men
not
and...
necessarily all that equal, but closer.
Well, wouldn't you say that there's 30-year-old men that's immature? So if a 30-year-old man is immature, does this
Make it okay.
make
for
him...
Right.
Is he qualified to date
No,
a
it's not.
18-year-old?
It's not just that, but as far as them being legal and then actually knowing, like they have to experience life a little bit. I feel like, I mean, and that you're right in that aspect.
Oh, well,
Like,
I could use the same
people
argument.
Are very grown for an 18-year-old and stuff like that, and I get that. But still, I don't.
So here's the thing. You're really not saying anything that's wrong then, because if it's the case, if you're bringing up maturity and experience, well, maturity, a 30-year-old man, he can be immature.
Yeah.
And if his maturity level can match up with the 18-year-old, but you said that, you still wouldn't accept that man that's 30 dating the 18-year-old. So that excludes maturity. Maturity doesn't make it a qualifier.
Right.
And even if you're speaking about experience, well, it can be a 30-year-old man that doesn't have a lot of life experience, right? He's just kind of had a coddled life, but he's dating this 18-year-old. But you would still say, well, no, you still wouldn't want that.
Well, these dudes are trying to make anything sound good. All right, now when it comes to maturity, they say that women mature faster than men. So they say the perfect age gap is 7 years. You want the man to be 7 years older than the woman because they could be maturely on the same level almost, and it's just not that far off. And on top of that, he has 7 years more life experience. That way, she can be somewhat impressionable if she haven't just dated around, and that's why a lot of men want a woman with low body count, because the more she dated around, the more you know, she have seen the world and she has multiple different experiences to compare her experiences to you with. Now, when it does come to that maturity level and you know, things of that nature, that's why some people say, well, that's why Nick Cannon believed R. Kelly was messing with young girls because they was on the same level, because he was a genius when it comes to music, but he wasn't that smart. He wouldn't he was illiterate, I heard. So um I guess, you know, some men, they want to date a woman that's in the education ballpark, you know, because some men could gotta get intimidated when a woman is just vastly smarter than him. But it's a thing, it's a difference between being legally wrong and morally wrong. To me, if you 30 plus and you're dating a 18-year-old, like, okay, sex is one thing. If you want to have sex with a woman and she's of age, by all means, you have the right to do that because it's legal. Now, will it be morally right? That's the question. You know, like me personally, I couldn't just date and get a relationship with a girl that's 18, because by the time she's 30, my age, she probably be a whole different person, for better or worse. And I probably won't even be her type anymore. And just like how the girl was saying she was the pharmacist dating the other pharmacist there straight out of high school, I ain't gonna say that pharmacist took advantage of her, but she was impressionable by him, because women, you know, at a certain age, you want to date the older guys because you know you're going to feel grown. You know, just like when you're a young dude and you want to hang out with the older guys because you can feel grown. It's a boost of your ego or status, feels like, you know, because when you're young, you want to do the grown stuff. You know, not many women just aren't attracted to older guys. You know, there's very few women that want to mess with a guy that's on her same age, you know. But like I say, they say 7 years is the perfect gap, you know. So if you 32, they say you messing with a 25-year-old, that's like perfect, you know. But like I say, it's a difference between morally and legally, because you could be going out the country to where they age is even younger than 18, they legal age. So if you go out the country and you go mess with a girl that's even younger, but you say, oh, well, it's still legal, you could still be like, man, that's immorally wrong, because you taking advantage of this company legalization of it. And you know, you wouldn't even, you know, brought up like that in this country. So you just a sleazeball. You know what I'm saying? And it's to me, bro, like I say, sex is one thing, but actually dating, that young person ain't even got the frontal lobe developed. You don't know how this person gonna, you know, and a lot of dudes feel like they can mold the girl, train the girl, and you know, but it don't always turn out like that.
30-year-old man
And these red pill dudes, they gonna do anything to justify them being 30, 40, messing with an 18-year-old.
to date the 18-year-old because it's just not right. So then that excludes experience and maturity. So then what's the reason of why it's actually wrong for a 30-year-old man to date an 18-year-old woman?
I think I would say discernment from someone who dated someone like.
Speaking of Mike for me too.
I would say discernment because I, you know, personally did date someone like you said that was yeah, I was fresh out of high school too, and he was older than I was he was older, probably in 30s at the time. I think it.
What do you mean by discernment? Meaning that the 18-year-old couldn't make good judgment?
I think that we do have cloudy judgment. It's like if we go, it's like having like bar head, like when you're drinking and everything just seems so right.
Okay,
you know,
so I got a question for you. If that's the case, then why is it that when you're 18 years old, you can vote? Because if you can vote, think about it. If we got to think about it logically, right? And see if you're logically consistent.
So they always say these things. Oh, well, you can vote. You could go to jail for life. You could do this. You could do that. But at the end of the day, him as a 35-year-old man or in the realm of ballpark of being 35, he didn't want to specify his age, which is weird. But him being in his late 30s, I would like to guess, know damn well he's nowhere near the same person that he was when he was 18. yes, you do have different type of judgment. Yes, you do have a different type of dating standards and boundaries. Yes, you do make bad decisions. You know, that's a part of life is growing up. You know, and they gonna always try to throw in that, well, you can vote. You, man, come on, man.
If the claim is a man that's 30 years old dating a woman that's 18 years old, it's wrong. You have to justify why it's actually wrong. Now, if you're saying that, well, the 18-year-old, the 18-year-old doesn't, you said the word what? Doesn't what?
I think I said discernment. The
Doesn't have
level
discernment,
of-
can't make good judgment.
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying the levels of discernment that a 30-year-old will have versus an 18-year-old is different. And in a political view, you're basically saying, why can't this person choose between this candidate and that candidate? No, you very well can sit down and research and develop your ideology. You can do the same thing.
Okay, and the same thing if you're dating someone. Yeah.
But all
So
I'm
it's
saying is a person that's 30 years old is going to have a level of discernment that an 18-year-old will not have.
Oh,
That's the point.
totally fine. But if it's the case that an 18-year-old, because I'll do the same questions with her, if it's the case that the 30-year-old has the same level of discernment as this 18-year-old, which we know that's the case, this is something that could be real, right? There's some 30-year-old men that really can't make good judgment like their other counterparts of 30-year-old men out there, because they're just maybe inadequate, lazy, or maybe have low IQ. Who knows what it is. But if it's the case that the discernment level matches up perfectly with the 18-year-old, then is it okay for the 30-year-old to date the 18-year-old?
I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to pose this with another question. Can your 18-year-old bring a 30-year-old male to your house
Can a
as
18-year-old
prospective partner and spouse? Can your
Make
daughter
it
bring a
sense.
Can your 18-year-old daughter bring a 30-year-old man to your house and say, "Hey, Dad, I'm dating this man. He's courting me. I like him a lot. I could possibly marry this man." Submit,
Yeah,
obey, duties, all of that to this 30-year-old man. How would you?
You
feel
asking
about
me?
that? Yes.
I'll answer your question. So with me, I would say that I would be in the courting process. I got two daughters, so I would be involved in the courting and dating process of who's going to be dating my daughter, right?
So she could date a man.
So she can date a man. So if it's, I would say yes. If I happen to come across a man that is a good man, and I use my discernment and met the man and spoken to that man, and he seen what family he came from, what religion he has, and all of this, if it's a good fit for my daughter, totally fine. The age wouldn't matter as far as the 30-year-old and 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't matter if you were.
But the question isn't on me, because I
No,
don't
not
think that it's
necessarily
wrong.
you.
The question will be posed to you because you think that the 30-year-old man dating the 18-year-old woman is wrong. And by wrong, you mean immoral, right?
She should have said 45 instead of 32. Let's see what he say then. Because if he say in any way, shape, form that, oh, well, now 45 is too old.
What's the youngest you got?
If he said in any way, shape, form, oh, 45 is too old for my daughter, that's 18. Okay, the feelings he have about that is basically the same feelings that they have about the 30-year-old dating his 18-year-old daughter. You know? So that'll be the only thing they could just, throw all that out the book. But everybody got their own preferences. Everybody got their own little boundaries where they feel like, okay, this is too old. This is too young, and a lot of people are biased when it comes to their daughters, in that same situation, or their sons in that same situation, But like I say, man, if y'all out here dating people that is much younger than you, much older than you, I will say this. I will say, if you can't learn something from somebody way older than you, if they're still making mistakes, if they don't have any type of stability, then you might as well just date somebody that's of your age, because if they're still doing these same things and they haven't fixed their wrongs, you might as well date somebody of your age, and that go for a man dating an older woman or a young lady dating an older man, But I will say, man, I've read and I've seen that 7 years is like the sweet spot age gap. you know, when it comes to dating. But I don't know what y'all think down in the comment section below. Do y'all agree with him? Do y'all disagree? Let me know your sentiments down in the comment section. I really would like to hear y'all feedback. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, what you're waiting on. Until next time, I'm out.